So one of the hardest things is just finding articles and doing it like a scientist would. It's a long process and it requires diligence and just constant effort. So library.regis.edu. Oh, regis.edu/library, my bad. We want to go to A to Z databases. And for this one, I'm just going to go to PsycInfo. I'm going to search through it. So one of the things, it's like where you should start your search. Let's say I'm interested in race and pain, right? You hit search and you see, oh, there's like 23 articles on race and pain, or 1,023 articles on race and pain. You start reading some of them to see, like, are they really on what you're interested in, on the neglected roles of stereotypes and empathy towards other race pain. Sure, that's definitely in there. And, like, one of the things that I'm looking for when I see an article I like, it's like empathy. I might be interested in empathy. Evoked potentials, I'm not really interested in that. Pain, for sure. Prejudice, stereotyped attitudes. That's all really good to know. Those are their, like, subjects, their keywords, right? So this is an interesting, specific sort of paper that tells me a specific story. I'm not really interested in limiting my work to military veterans, but look, that's a keyword that you can use if you are. Pain, racial and ethnic differences, right? Like now I'm seeing like, oh, there's more words that I can use in this search. Gender, race, pain, and subjective well-being of adults with spinal cord injuries, right? You got some subjects, pains definitely in there. Race definitely hit it. You can see that. But you want to get a feel for what the good articles are. What's in there? Look for like other things. If you are interested in some stuff like just the neural stuff, and you're like, oh, social neuroscience. Maybe I include that as a keyword and see what happens. So this is a very interesting thing. You can see it drastically limited. Drastically limited our results. When I put it in quotation marks, you can see that it only looked for social neuroscience as a whole, but not both, right? So you got to think about quotes or not quotes. Or even if I do this, social neuro, that's like gonna look for, it gets everything with social neuroscience the same for. I was seeing if it would maybe get anything else, but it really doesn't make sense that it would. But well, race and racial, those are different words. So let's see if I get more here. I do. I got 3 more by going from race to race star. Race star means anything that starts with race. So that's pretty cool. You got ands, you got or options, right? If I wanted to look at 2 different pathways, race and pain and social neuro, or neuroscience. And let's just go neuro star, see what we get. Go from 7 to quite a bit, right? I want to see some of my neuro results. My neuro landers here. Neural, right? Like, I want to ask myself, is this what I want? Is this what I'm interested in? Should I get rid of it? You got neuropathic, right? Like, am I being too general here? But overall, like, your first go about is just trying to figure out what's out there. What's in a paper that you like? What are their keywords? Right? I'll just click on this paper right here. And keywords, right? Empathy for pain, race, event-related potentials, implicit racial prejudice, stereotyping. So like what I want to do is I want to keep track of all of these words that I am interested in, because let's say here I found a word that I really like, and that word is implicit racial prejudice. Okay, race or implicit racial prejudice, right? I'm going to quote that one because I'll get a lot of stuff that's implicit in there. I'm going to try to keep it together here. It'll probably give me an error. It's been a while since I've messed around with something like that. But I'm trying to say race or implicit racial prejudice and pain. Let's see what happens. It might give me nothing because I have yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. So what I would do to deal with that is just make it like, just do that. That's all I'm going to do. You know, and I now have race or implicit racial prejudice. I now have about 500. Social neuro or neuro. Let's see if I can get... I want to get more with this social neuro, right? I just want to see what I can get here. So I got 7. So I'm not getting that many from the social neuro. So then I'm like, well, neuroscience. Let's see what I get, which is neuroscience instead of neurostar. That's actually a pretty good result. Now, in general, it just kind of depends on what you're interested in, what you're going to find here. Right, I'm looking at keywords right now. This one kind of caught my eye a little bit. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything there. There's a keyword that I know I like, and that's okay too. And I do like the health disparities word, but it's not showing up as a keyword and so forth. So, like, this is me just kind of playing around, trying to get a sense of what's out there. But I want you to know that there is a thesaurus. So let's see if this thesaurus really helps us out. Let's look at just pain. Let's look at just pain. All right. So, sorry. I was in the thesaurus. The thesaurus always messes me up. You don't type pain in up here. You type it in down here, and then you hit browse. When I click pain, right, it includes all of these symptoms, back pain, chronic pain, headache, all these fun things. These are all included in pain management, pain measurement, pain perception, pain thresholds. Oh. Okay. So it's saying, no, it's just saying like, here's some related terms, right? I'm at pain. I'm like, what are some related terms? Okay. Which ones am I interested in? Broader terms? No. Narrower terms? Sure. I'll choose all the narrower terms that they suggest for me. And related terms, I definitely want analgesic drugs for sure. I'm not really interested in that. That's okay. Definitely pain management, pain measurement, pain perception, pain thresholds, physical disorders, spasm, suffering, definitely suffering. The other two, not so much. Right? And then when I click search, let's see what happens. So so however they're using this, their computer code is all this, and this, right? So this is pain. Oh, come on. Right? Everything I clicked is up here. And this is how you do it. This is how you add different terms. Maybe I added too many. So I'm going to do race and pain, right? So, I'm at race and all these words for pain. And I got 388. It's just a little bit much, but let's do neuroscience, which we talked about earlier. Right? And I got 20 with with all of those in there. And so I'm like, okay, let's just kind of go back to this thesaurus. And I'm like, okay, what's race? I search. I did that thing again. My bad. Sorry. Race here. Right? And I'm like, okay. The term I entered could not be found. That's really interesting. So it's telling me like race anthropological, racial and ethnic differences, racial and ethnic attitudes, racial and ethnic groups, whites. There's a little plus there. Right? So I think that's pretty good. Let's click search here. And then like I'm gonna go back, search history here. I want to see that show up. So I got race. I got all the pain ones here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull those out. Hopefully I didn't miss something, but maybe I did. I got 118 results for race and pain. So I really sorry, the back button there. There we go. That's probably better. I'm going to collapse this history here. And I get, I got a little bit more by adding pain to it. I don't know why it didn't add pain. I like pain on there. So yeah, here's all, 150 articles that would form a good sort of understanding. I also know that I want sort of like health disparities, and I've looked it up before in the thesaurus and it's there. So I'm going to click OR health disparities. I'm going to click. Oh, did it just mess me up? Oh, it totally did. No whammies, no whammies. Didn't get me any more. Okay, so they are getting picked up, but I wanted to make sure. What's really important about noting your keywords is what you search is biased, right? And by going through the thesaurus, doing the process that I did, finding a topic you're interested in, choosing all the keywords that are associated with it, getting about 200 articles, right, is a really fun process that can help you understand the field really quickly. Now, I'm going to tell you to do something that most other teachers may not. but it's also a hard task. I'm going to tell you to skim every single abstract. Read it until you think it's not interesting to you anymore, right? Like, you're going to go through and it's like, okay, race, psychiatric comorbidity, and headache characteristics in patients in headache subspecialty treatment clinics. Definitely sounds interesting, definitely on board to what I'm curious about. So I read it, I'm like, oh, how did race, headaches, blah, 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 study used, naturalistic, okay, in Cincinnati, face-to-face, yielded headache, 30-day daily diaries collected on headache, surveys obtained on the headache, and locus control results. Compared with whites, black people reported more frequent and severe headaches, were more likely to be diagnosed with depressive disorders, and were more likely to be diagnosed with chronic headaches. White and black patients diagnosed with both depression and anxiety reported the most frequent headache days per month and the lowest levels of life quality and headache management, self-efficacy. Conclusion, more research is needed, so forth. But that's giving me, now I know that there's a racial disparity in headaches, right? And then I go on and I'm like, association of pain and depression in pre-adolescent girls, moderation by race and pubertal stage. So this is cool too. Like, I'm already gonna go here. I'm like, okay, I know a lot of this stuff, cold pressor task, pain threshold, pain tolerance. This is right up my alley. So I'm just kind of like, okay, going down here. I'm reading it all. I'm just not reading it out loud. So results, response to pain at age 10. I'm just finding this interesting. Was associated with depressive symptoms at age 10 and 11. So that's physical pain is associated with depression. That's pretty cool. Race and pubertal stage moderated the association. Pain response and depression were more strongly associated among girls who had reached advanced stages of pubertal development and among European American girls. Yeah, that's an unexpected result, actually. It goes against um, what my theory suggests, but that's okay. I could be wrong. Um, I'd like to look at the methods a little bit more just to see if they're good, but I'm seeing here, okay, so for um, pre adolescent girls, you got European American girls are. The pain response was the pain response to depression was stronger for European American girls. And this actually doesn't go against my theory. It fits fine with it. Not like you care, but I'm just saying, like, I'm pointing out that I'm learning from this. I'm gonna go through every one of these, and I'm looking for one that I can skip, but I did a good job of actually searching. So I'm hoping I'm actually browsing the titles right now to show you, like, that you can skip some that don't make sense. The effect of same and other race facial expression on pain on temporal perception. I thought I could skip that one, but nope, that's interesting. Race and ethnicity do not clinically associate with quality of life among patients with chronic severe pain in a federally qualified health center. Yeah, okay, no result, but I'll read it. I'll read it, sure. I'll find the flaw. Um, all of these I'm interested in. So I've actually done a really great job searching for things, but it's okay. I'm gonna read them all. I'm gonna sort of browse them all, and I'm gonna get a feel, like, for what the field is telling me. And that's like step number one. Read all your abstracts. This is why I think your search matters. I want you got to write a paper with 50 citations, so I want you to have at least 100, no more than what I have here, no more than 200 or 300. But you just got to kind of speed read them. It's gonna start. Yep, I'm gonna start seeing, like, patterns when you do it like this. And this is why I'm having you do it like this. This is my first step, reading the abstracts. Getting a sense for what each individual study found. Um, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but after you get through reading all these abstracts, you're going to be on your first step towards being an expert in the field. Um, I think that's just a really important first step to doing the research. And this is the step that I expect you to do between now and our next class. All right. So really, this is just kind of it. We get these searches done, we get them in there, and that is great for like the work I want you to do with the articles for next time.